pillars for an excellent marriage. If there is something good in this life, if properly adjudicated, is marriage. But if wrongly done, it is the worst poison you can ever swallow. Because marriage can either make your life or destroy your life completely. There are people, if marriage worked, they could have been fueled to doing great and amazing things. But there are people, the failure they are struggling with is emanating from the marriage concept that they are in. And that is why the most sensitive decision one can make in this life is marriage. Better you marry late, but marry right, rather than marry early, but marry wrong. Because this is a permanent contract you enter into. Even if along the way you will divorce, the impact of that marriage lives with you a lifetime. And you know where you can go to be delivered? That your first marriage stops existing. It is still in your system because it shaped much of you emotionally, psychologically, morally, decisions, choices. That's why you notice, me, I would tell someone, whoever is planning to enter into a marriage, before you settle, do thorough research about yourself as a person and know if you are marriageable. There are people who need marriage, but they are not marriageable, whether you are male or female. You don't have what it takes, because marriage is not about figures. It's not about academic papers. It's about spiritual energies, because marriage is a spiritual institution. It's not a physical app. So today I want to speak about common mistakes couples make in marriage. Number one is poor communication. One of the mistakes couples make is not investing in communication. You'll find in marriages, that is why you'll find a lot of gaslighting, a lot of assumptions. And you notice, there are people who think that if they think they told you something, they think you are supposed to know, whether they never told you. And you fail, how are you going to get to know what they were saying in their mind? And many marriages have failed because of poor communication. I told you the backbone of marriage is communication. And there are people who don't see the need of speaking to each other, but they believe in speaking at each other. That if it is not my way, it is the highway. Number two is taking each other for granted. This is a very common mistake couples make. Taking each other for granted. And you forget that this person has signed a death contract with you. Because marriage is a death contract, because the Bible says, until death do separate us. And you are taking that person for granted. You assume the person. You ignore the person. And you see as if that person has no substantial impact or value to you. Wait until the person leaves your space. That is when you realize. Another common mistake people make in the marriage is avoiding difficult conversation. Avoiding difficult conversation. And this one is a major issue. There are conversations that requires maturity. They requires boldness. But there are people, when we enter into difficult conversation, immediately they start shedding tears. They start crying. And by so doing, they make the environment toxic and they poison the conversation. That is a major mistake. If you do not grow up into facing difficult conversations, calling a spade and a spoon a spoon. There is a small reel I watched yesterday. A certain boss called her PA and asked her to tell her the truth about, and ask her, tell me about the truth. Who am I? How do you people see me? And she told her frankly, you are a wicked, heartless, proud. Ha! And the boss looked at her and told her, thank you. I've always wanted to know, why do people behave with me the way they behave? And then the PA asked her, and why do you behave the way you behave? And she said, it is a trauma of the past. Avoiding difficult conversation. Number 4 is letting intimacy fade. You may see it as if it is nothing. But when the intimacy quality, the intimacy frame continues to fade, no sooner than the later, you will notice your marriage has hit a deadlock. That even the other partner is no longer even interested with you. Don't allow intimacy to fade. Something else is comparing your marriage with the others. You take others' marriage, especially social media marriages and TV marriages, Netflix marriages, comparing your marriage with your neighbor's marriage. That's a very big mistake, because your marriage is not like their marriage. Yours is unique, and it will be constructed with unique materials. So invest in your marriage. Another mistake is not making time for each other. Yes, and that one is very key. There are people in marriages, they don't see each other at crossroads. It can, and there's something I've noticed in the marriages. There comes a time, a spirit, I don't know if it's a spirit or what, or it is ignorance, whereby you introduce avoidance technique. You're avoiding one another. Not making time for each other is a common mistake, but it's a very dangerous mistake. Something else is ignoring emotional needs of each other. That one is another poison for the marriage. Ignoring emotional needs, how the other person feels. You only think about yourself. Everything is about you, but you never put yourself in the shoes of the other person. Another mistake is financial secrecy and mismanagement. That one, financial secrecy. Until your partner asks you, where did you get this money from? You cannot even explain. Financial secrecy and mismanagement. A very common mistake. Something else is letting family or friend interfere. Allowing external interferences. And lastly for today is refusing to grow together. There are people, they are still in their home, operating as if they are still animals.